Hey guys! So, for the past while, we've been talking about comparisons. So, about us comparing our this versus someone else's that. This happens a lot more than we want to admit. When we see someone's shoes, for example, and they're nicer than yours, or maybe the opposite, thinking that your shoes are better than someone else's. Right now, we're going to focus on the first one. So, when you think that someone else has something better than you. This is one of the biggest feelings of comparison. Another word for it is jealousy, when we want something that someone else has. When we feel jealous, we can't properly celebrate others or ourselves. The biggest example of jealousy in the Bible is King Saul. Before I read a verse, I'm going to explain the story. So what happened was that David, before he became king, was part of Saul's army and helped fight in a whole bunch of wars. So after war, the army would return back to the city and everyone would be singing and celebrating because they just won a war and that's exciting. But one time, the people started singing that Saul had killed thousands, but that David had killed tens of thousands, saying that he did 10 times what Saul did. This made Saul super jealous, and 1 Samuel 18:8-9 says, "This made Saul very angry. 'What's this?' he said. 'They credit David with tens thousands and me with only thousands. Next, they'll be making him their king.' So from that time on, Saul kept a jealous eye on David. So instead of being happy that they just won a war and that the citizens were talking about how he killed thousands and how strong Saul was, he was jealous that they were praising David more than him. They just won a war. He should have been celebrating. Saul and David used to be pretty close, but after this, Saul started trying to kill David out of jealousy. By being jealous, we can ruin things for ourselves and those around us. So we can become angry and insecure and unhappy. If we can stop comparing, we can celebrate others and ourselves and be more happy instead of being angry with others. Because just like with Saul and David, jealousy can ruin our relationships. You might start avoiding certain people or stop being happy for them, maybe even being happy when they're unhappy. And that's definitely not something we should be doing. So this week, I want you all to look at your own achievements and be happy with them. I also want you guys to not be like Saul, and instead, why don't you guys pick someone who you'll celebrate this week? Not to be jealous or upset by comparing yourselves to them, but be happy with their achievements and be happy with them when they do something.